Hi, I'm Gideon Yago with MTV News. Former Beatle George Harrison, the youngest member of the most influential pop group of all time, has passed away after a long battle with cancer. He was 58. Though he'd overcome throat cancer in the late 90s, Harrison, who was a longtime smoker, had been diagnosed with lung cancer and a brain tumor earlier on this year. He sought treatment in Switzerland and at Staten Island University Hospital. Though he was most well known for being a Beatle, George Harrison had many other claims to fame. Here now is a look back at an incredible life.
We used to go look for places on the planet where you'd think they wouldn't have heard of the Beatles. I remember going to India in 1965 thinking, oh great, this is going to be good. And as soon as we got off the plane, there was all these brown faces all chatting, Beatles, Beatles.
Being part of the most accomplished and influential band in rock history would have been enough. But in terms of world music, global consciousness, and higher consciousness, George Harrison was nothing less than a pioneer. As the lead guitarist in a group where the guitar solos were the last thing most people noticed, it's no wonder Harrison was known as the quiet Beatle.
I enjoyed that, to be that person. I wouldn't have liked to have been John or Paul. I was quite happy to be me.
'Cause you're sweet and lovely. I love you.
But along with well-constructed, rockabilly-rooted solos, he also contributed the occasional lead vocal on some early Beatles hits.
It's alright.
And while not as prolific as the team of John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Harrison wrote and sang such Beatles classics as Here Comes the Sun, Something, Taxman, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
While my guitar gently weeps.
In 1965, Harrison became one of the first rock musicians to experiment with Indian music, studying with sitar master Ravi Shankar and playing the sitar himself on the Beatles' Norwegian Wood. Harrison's interest in Eastern religion became a matter of lifelong devotion, and he blazed a spiritual trail still followed today by such artists as the Beastie Boys.
I play a bit of guitar, write a few tunes, make a few movies, but none of that's really me. The real me is something else.
Can you tell us?
No, you have to figure that out. The real me is the same as the real you.
My sweet Lord.
After the Beatles broke up, Harrison followed his acclaimed 1970 solo set, the recently reissued All Things Must Pass, with the first ever big-time all-star rock benefits, his 2 Summer of '71 concerts for Bangladesh. Bob Dylan and Eric Clapton joined him at New York's Madison Square Garden to raise some $10 million for the starving people of that third world country. As the 70s went on, Harrison mixed music with movie producing. His Handmade Films company brought us such inspired British comedies as Monty Python's Life of Brian and Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits. Harrison's solo success continued into the MTV era as his cover of the obscure oldie Got My Mind Set on You hit #1 in 1987.
I got my mind set on you.
He then joined Dylan, Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, and Roy Orbison, the Traveling Wilburys. Through most of the 90s, Harrison kept a low profile. In 1995, he joined McCartney and Ringo Starr on the quote-unquote new Beatles songs Free as a Bird and Real Love. Then, in 1998, he announced that he was battling throat cancer. And on December 30th, 1999, a mentally ill former heroin addict broke into Harrison's British estate, stabbing and nearly killing him. As he recovered from that attack and continued seeking cancer treatments, the Beatles' Collection 1 topped the charts in the year 2000. Proof yet again of the timelessness of the first of George Harrison's many contributions to our culture.
We did some great tunes and we said some good things. We tried to be nice and influence people, maybe not always to the best things, but basically I think they could have had a lot worse.
George Harrison is survived by his second wife, Olivia, his 23-year-old son, Danny, his brother, Peter, and his sister, Lou. For continuing coverage on this, log on to mtvnews.com and stay tuned to MTV.